here we would like to find the square root function given the following information. It increases from -3 to infinity, not including the endpoint -3. The range is starting from 8, including the 8, all the way to infinity. And the rate of change over the interval from 5 to 6 inclusive is 4. So first, let's write the general equation. And then we're going to see how we're going to find the missing information. So the general equation is y equals to the constant multiplied by the square root x minus h plus k. Okay, so obviously here we want to find the missing information a, we want to find the h and k. With the h and k it's kind of easy, because we know that the range starts from k of the square root function and the domain starts from h. So by default we know that since it starts to increase, we know the square root function increases from the smallest x possible. In this case the smallest x is -3. So we know that h is equal to -3. Okay, so we can put that down. And we know that the range starts from 8 in this case, right? And we know the k value is the smallest vertical or y value, the smallest function value that it can take. Okay, so we know that 8 is going to be the k value. So now we know h and k, but we don't know the a. So let's write this down. So what this is going to give us is a times square root of x. Now keep this in mind that there are two negatives at play, because there's a minus, which is part of the formula, the general form, and then there's a second minus for the h, because h is -3. So x minus -3 is x plus 3. All right, and plus k, obviously 8 is equal to k, so it's going to be plus 8. Beautiful. So now that we have that, as you can understand, in order to find the a, we need one more information, and one more information is provided to us. The rate of change over the interval from 5 to 6 inclusive is 4. So what does the rate of change mean? Let's underline that. Let's underline that and understand what this means. This technically means slope. All right? So the slope from 5 to 6 inclusive is 4. So what is the slope formula? The slope formula is the change of the function values. So f of 6, right? F of the right endpoint minus the function value of the left endpoint divided by the change in the x's. And change in the x's is just the right endpoint, because these are the x values, right? The interval consists of the x values. So we can say, he's going to mark these are x values, okay? So the change in x is the bottom. So 6, the right endpoint, minus the left endpoint, all right? And this is given to us being equal to 4. So how do we put this into the function notation form? So we know that the fx, because you know that y is the function, right? Y represents the function. So y by default is equal to fx, which is equal to a times square root of x plus 3 plus 8. All right, so we can now substitute this information. Using this information, we can substitute the 6 into the x and then 5 into the x. And we know the bottom is just 1, right? It's just 6 minus 5 is 1. So we might as well just not think of a fraction, but think of the numerator being equal to 4. All right, so let's see. So f of 6 minus f of 5, what does that mean? That means f of 6 is going to be what? It's going to be 6 plus 3, right? 6 plus 3 plus 8. Make sure that you don't forget the 8. And then minus, and we have to put parentheses because f of 5 will be this whole thing, including the 8, right? So we're going to have to do it like this. A times square root of, now 5 instead of the x here, so we have to put 5 plus 3, and then plus 8. Parentheses close, and we don't have to divide by 1 because that doesn't change anything. We just set it equal to 4. All right, So now that we have that, let's simplify the left side. So what we're going to have, we can actually take out the a if we wanted to. But let's actually simplify the square roots first. So we're going to have what? 6 plus 3 is 9. Square root of 9 is 3. So we can put 9a. I'm sorry, 3a. So 3a, this part here, plus 8 minus, now this is going to be what? Radical 8, right? Because radical 8 is not a whole number, so we keep it under the radical. So minus radical 8a. So minus radical 8a. And make sure a is outside the radical, right? Don't accidentally put it under the radical. Otherwise, you will not be able to find the a value. And then minus 8, of course, because the minus distributes to the 8, is equal to 4. All right? So as you can see, what happens is the 8's cancel out here because 8 minus 8 is 0. So what you have is you can actually factor out the a. So I'm going to factor out the a because it's common to these two terms. And instead, inside, I'm going to put 3 minus radical 8. 3 minus radical 8 is equal to 4. So as a result, dividing both sides by 3 minus radical 8 will solve for your a. So your a value is 4 over 3 minus radical 8. Beautiful. So now we are ready to formulate our function using the information we found. So the equation, the function is going to be what? F of x will be equal to 4 over 3 minus radical 8, right? Because I'm using this notation here. Well, precisely, actually, I'm using, I should say, this one. Okay, so f of x is equal to 4 divided by 3 minus radical 8. That's the a value, so let's keep it under the parentheses. And then square root x plus 3, of course, and then plus 8. So you have found your square root function using 3 pieces of information given. Thank you so much for watching. Hope this was fun and helpful, and I'll see you in the next video.